I did it. I put myself through a full week daily driving the Rabbit R1 as an AI companion that it was meant to be. And I say I did it as if it was torture, but honestly, there were a lot of pleasant surprises. Rabbit team just dropped the OS2, which is meant to address a lot of the frustrations and complaints from the original launch. So this entire week as I was using it, I was really just trying to answer the question, is the Rabbit R1 finally a tool, or is it still a toy? Before I go any further, I want to be clear about the two people I had in mind while making this video. First are the people who own the Rabbit R1 as a collectible. It's sitting on the desk in a drawer, and we're just not sure what to do with it or how it fits in our tech ecosystem. And then second are the people who have been watching on the sideline and just wondering, is now the right time to buy the Rabbit R1? If you're in either of those buckets, I want to say yes, the OS2 changes the conversation, but not in the way the hype might suggest. Rabbit never tried to one-up with performance. They won me over with vibes. The retro design, the colors, a new way to interact with the tech, and I bought into that. I imagined an AI companion that could answer my questions much faster than I can pick up my phone. Whether small task could be done very quickly. I was sold. And about a month into owning mine, I immediately gave it away. And there are three reasons for that. First, it didn't actually change how I interact with the tech. It looked different, but it wasn't better. Second, the performance was abysmal. For anybody used to 4G, 5G speeds, you're waiting a long time to get a response. And in that time, I can ask the Rabbit, pick up my phone, pose the same question, get the answer while the Rabbit is still loading. And so a lot of times it would even repeat the question to fill up the space, but that didn't make it any better, it just made it obvious. And third, basic utilities. The Rabbit R1 are missing a lot of the utilities we've come to associate with smart technology. I'm talking about timers, alarms, you name it. It's why is it not on this device? This comes standard with every Android device. And so the Rabbit OS2 is the reset. Here's what's new. The Rabbit team has completely redesigned the interface. Instead of everything being behind a voice prompt, we now have a card-based system. Apps as cards, each with its own unique icon and color. At a glance, it's much closer to what we've come to expect of modern OS systems. On the right side, we have an active app section, and swiping any of the cards left closes it. The colors are bold, each app is very unique, and honestly, I still can't tell which is red versus blue, but it works. It works somehow. And the boldness and quirkiness fits the Rabbit R1, so they did a great job here. And I want to tie it back to the three main pain points that made me give it away. Starting with number 3, I know this feels out of order, but bear with me. The basic functionalities of smart devices are now on device. I was taken back. So the gallery is now on device. We have alarms, timers, basic functional utilities. These should have been on the device at launch, but seeing them now just makes the R1 much usable. The Rabbit promises to change how we interact with technology through a voice or companion-like AI interface, and the Intern chat app is the most promising feature that offers this. The Intern chat is an AI assistant that works like a very eager intern. So you give it a task, it asks clarifying questions, a lot of clarifying questions, then you prescribe the requirements, the format, the output, and sometimes that feels like overkill, but it's also the first time that the Rabbit R1 feels like it's being thoughtful, and then it gets to working. And 5 to 10 minutes later, you can check the Rabbit whole web interface to see your output, and generally the answers are useful, but sometimes error prone, but very useful. And I think a very quick improvement they can make here is pushing back a notification to the device when the task is completed, because I came to the 5 to 10 minute time range by just frequently checking the website and seeing if the task is done. Creation mode is one of those areas where the Rabbit R1 starts to feel fuzzy again. When I add a creation from the public feed, it's not clear what I need to do next. I've mostly used it to play Flappy Bird that was created by someone else, but beyond that, the experience is not that great. The physics of the game is not perfect, and it's just a reminder that the R1 is one of those devices that is still figuring itself out in public. One thing I have to talk about is performance, because this is my biggest pain point with the Rabbit R1. Before OS2, I could ask the R1 a question, then grab my phone, ask the same question, and get a response before the R1 replied. And that matters. When a device is supposed to be faster than reaching for my phone, it can't be slower than one. Now, to Rabbit's credit, OS2 is faster. Responses come back quicker, the UI feels smoother, faster, and overall it's a better experience. But let's not make it out to be something that it's not. There's still a pause, there's still time when we're waiting, and still a gap between asking and doing. And for some people that's fine because the experience is different. But if you're prioritizing speed above everything else, the phone is still the winner. So after a week daily driving the OS 2, the Rabbit R1 is no longer just a toy, but it's not a full-fledged tool either. It's directionally a companion that finally meets the functional basics of a smart device. If you like fun tech and don't mind being at the bleeding edge of experimentation, the OS 2 makes the R1 worth revisiting. If you like reliability, performance, and a polished experience, smartphones are still the way to go. That being said, the R1 finally feels like a companion, and that's something worth exploring. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. I really appreciate it as a growing channel. Thank you. Peace.